report just destroyed CNN anchor Jake Tapper and his motives behind his new book trashing Joe Biden. It turns out this is personal for Tapper, and he comes off looking far worse than his subject. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. As you will no doubt recall, just days ago, President Joe Biden announced that he has stage 4 prostate cancer, a dire diagnosis which could mean he has only months to live. The news seems timed to overshadow CNN anchor Jake Tapper's much-hyped book Original Sin, which claims that Biden has lost his mental faculties and was unfit to serve as president. Perhaps out of craven greed, CNN recently aired moments like this.
Of course, we'll be tracking that closely. I also have to ask you, while we have you, about news of the day today that includes this book written by my colleague Jake Tapper and Axios' Alex Thompson on President Biden's mental decline.
Nothing like turning cable news into an infomercial, right? As if that look wasn't bad enough. Tapper, who thought he would be taking a victory lap at this point, has experienced nothing but blowback from both sides of the political spectrum. Biden supporters and folks on the left have blasted Tapper for reporting gossip, family drama, peddling a hit job against a deathly sick man, and withholding damaging information for years. Folks on the right, ironically, have jumped on the same issues, wanting to know that if Tapper knew of a vast conspiracy to cover up Biden's condition, why didn't he report on that immediately?
Alex and I, after Election Day, interviewed more than 200 people, 200 mostly Democratic insiders, and almost all of these interviews were after the election. And they justified to themselves what they had done in terms of misrepresenting how the president was, not just to me and Alex and other reporters, but also just to each other and to the world and to Democrats and to the cabinet, et cetera, by saying that there was this existential threat of Donald Trump and only Joe Biden could beat Donald Trump, and that justified everything in their minds. After that existential threat was over, because the election was over and Donald Trump won, we found, Alex and myself, remarkably willing to talk to us, either off the record or on background, or in some cases on the record, about what they saw. One of the things that emerged was that there were two Bidens. One was the fine Biden, serviceable, adequate, and the other one was a non-functioning Biden, and that's the one we saw the night of the debate.
I'm sorry to show that clip of the original Karen, Megyn Kelly, but hey, I have a point to make here. And wait until you see how gross this gets. Stay with me. It's also ironic that what Tapper cites here is nothing new. Multiple other journalists, notably Bob Woodward, reported that Joe Biden has moments of foggy-headedness. That doesn't make him unable to serve as president per se, it just means he needs aides to help him do his job, like every president does. Donald Trump walks into walls without someone to steer his walk. Don't believe me? See our other videos here on the channel for more. As for the Tapper-Biden relationship, a new report has uncovered some truly slimy motives on Jake Tapper's part. It turns out he had more than just a financial interest in attacking Joe Biden. Multiple outlets, including the New York Post and Breaker, have confirmed remarks from Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, who has revealed a years-long feud he had with Jake Tapper. It apparently began in the final days of Hunter's brother, Beau, who died of cancer in 2015. Tapper allegedly called Hunter Biden nonstop for comment, eventually reaching him by hiding his phone number. Hunter answered the call while at his brother's bedside and flatly told Jake Tapper to go F himself. Hunter Biden said, quote, "It would be impossible to forget or misremember something that upsetting and out of line during one of the toughest moments of my life. It happened. I was furious," unquote. Tensions between the two came to a head in 2018 when Hunter says he confronted Tapper at a Super Bowl party, an interaction Jake Tapper has confirmed. Hunter Biden threatened to knock Tapper out over his pestering, and Tapper then demanded Joe Biden apologize for his son. Joe Biden did not, which widened the rift. Tapper repeatedly demanded access to the White House, but the Biden team chose other CNN correspondents to cover major functions. People close to the situation described Tapper going into what they described as a, quote, meltdown when he was refused a private briefing about the 2024 State of the Union address. That also seemed to coincide with the inception of this new book. Funny how that works, right? Now, Tapper denies a personal grudge against the Biden family and claims his Super Bowl interaction with Hunter Biden was unrelated to the death of Beau Biden. Even so, Tapper's allegations of a conspiracy spanning hundreds of people in the White House, DNC, media, and beyond to cover up Joe Biden's senility tests the bounds of credulity. As I say, people knew Biden had occasional senior moments, but in Tapper's telling, the man was a vegetable. It's a disgraceful thing to claim for personal vendetta, especially given Biden's recent diagnosis and Donald Trump's obvious cognitive decline as the nation risks disintegration over his policies. And no matter what your feelings about Trump, Tapper, or the Biden family, you should note, Jake Tapper has suddenly canceled further media appearances promoting the book. Maybe Jake Tapper just knows when to quit. This is Occupy Democrats.